Hello and welcome to another Cereal Box Reviews. I'm Ash, back again with Zach, and today we're talking about uh, Paul Schrader's 2013 masterpiece, The Canyons. Um, that's written by Bret Easton Ellis and stars Lindsay Lohan and James Dean, not to be confused with
The balls of doing that, but anyways.
not to be confused with uh the dead guy James Dean. No.
The actor James.
Yeah, the better actor. Yeah. So um okay, so this movie is about a this couple that uh so James there's about these couple that live in these like Hollywood Hills or whatever, and they James Dean is like a kind of he's a rich guy. He's like a trust fund kid, so he has a lot of money, and he um uh had so him and Lindsay Lohan is his girlfriend, and they like swinging with other couples and stuff, and yeah, they're swingers, and uh James Dean is like in the film industry, and yeah, and then uh Lindsay Lohan starts not liking him, and uh having feelings again for her ex-boyfriend, and then James Dean notices it, and then the crazy stuff happens, and this movie came out in 2013, and this movie is low budget, and when it came out, it was negatively received, and yeah. Anyways, before we get into the movie, what did you think of this movie?
Well, I've talked a lot at this point, I guess, about how much I love appreciate Paul Schrader. Um, and so I was interested going into this to see like what people like say is like his like shittiest film,
Mm-hmm.
like genuinely shitty, not just like weird Adam resurrected territory.
Mm-hmm.
But I it was a little bit of a up and down sort of experience to me. I started way down low because I was annoyed really by the performances and the, for the most part, pretty shitty photography of the film.
Mm-hmm.
I guess though, because it was like I'm going digital or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
which rarely works when a filmmaker does that, in my opinion. But or did that, I think, because it was the craze back in the day, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But it rose up more and more, like as it got more and more like bizarre,
Yeah.
and like a parody of itself. I appreciated it more, and then I started not liking it again, and I ended up being relatively okay with it, and that was my whole takeaway from the film.
Yeah. This movie, this is my second time watching it. First time I watched it, I thought it was hilariously bad, and now the second time I've watched this movie, I think it's actually, um, I think I think it's underwhelming. I think it's an underwhelming movie, I there's something like intriguing about it. It's just a weird movie, but it intrigues me in a not like boring way, and um, yeah, yeah, it's really weird. I almost like shitty photography or like shitty uh acting aspect of it. And now in this movie too, it confuses me. Like I can't tell if this movie is because I know it's written by Bret Easton Ellis, and actually, for the most part, the dialogue's not even really that bad. But it's more like the actors and the presentation of it. But the how how the lines are delivered. But I can't tell. I almost feel like this movie's like intentionally made like this because like Bret Easton Ellis wanted to write like a sleazy kind of exploitive type movie trash, I guess, and then he thought Paul Schrader had been the perfect choice to direct this. And um, what's that?
You could have some research credit.
Yeah, but yeah, and so I don't know, but um, yeah, it's a really weird movie. I read the Letterboxd review where it says it's the perfect midpoint between The Room and Mulholland Drive, which is a perfect description for it because there's a lot of this that reminds me of The Room, but not so like. But also yeah, like some other movies too. But yeah, there's some Room elements to it. Uh, yeah, and yeah. So we'll get into the movie, I guess, but uh, yeah. So like I said earlier, the movie's about James Dean and Lindsay Lohan are like swingers, and James Dean is like a trust fund kid, so he has all this money and stuff. And Lindsay Lohan's like her ex boyfriend, even though he doesn't. He's more of a struggling actor and stuff, and he does these like gigs that don't. He doesn't make a lot of money from like male modeling and stuff, and then uh, James Dean, even though they're swingers, James Dean doesn't like that Lindsay Lohan likes her ex boyfriend, or that she's even seen like other guys without his like consent, and he gets jealous. And James Dean's ex girlfriends warned Lindsay Lohan that he's a bad guy, and then James Dean at the end goes psycho and does all this weird manipulative stuff and kills people and stuff. Well, he kills the chick at the end. But yeah.
Nice touch on this part.
Yeah. But so anyways, yeah, that's pretty much the movie, but I'll just get into my notes. What did you think of James Dean's performance?
One of the best actors in the movie. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an easy gag or whatever, or an easy joke to make, but like the whole time I was just thinking like, oh, it's so cool. This is like his life story right here on screen.
Yeah.
Or something. But I mean, I will say he's satisfactory and at points like pretty good, like believable, even though no one's believable in this movie.
Right.
I would say the best performance is Gus Van Sant, just because maybe he's the oldest and like he actually understands acting sometimes. Mm-hmm. But
right.
Even then, you know, I'm obviously just going to be seeing, oh, they gave Van Sant a cameo, like,
right?
Not like character, which that's kind of like the whole movie, like, and I guess that was the point. Like, you're not supposed to really see our leads. You're supposed to see Lindsay Lohan and the porn star.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, yeah, James Dean, he did a good job just playing himself. Yeah. And I really liked. Do you like the opening scene where they're at the restaurant they're across the table. It's Lindsay Lohan's ex-boyfriend's there, and he's like talking about their swingers or whatever. And James Dean's on the phone. I forgot what he says, but he says something where he's like, Psh. What does he say? He's like, Psh, dude, like fucking. What does he say? He says something like, bro. I don't remember.
I have no idea.
Do you remember though? He was like, bro, you've never tried this or whatever.
Yeah, like he's a good like phone, like going on your phone and looking up like annoyed.
Yeah.
Like that's great, like little faces like that. That's sort of his like strong.
Yeah.
Is he's better when he's not like yelling or probably talking. To be honest. But like he's a good face actor, which I guess is good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's got a big dick, I guess, so that's nice.
Yeah, they do show his penis in the movie. Eventually, in the beginning they didn't really, but then they eventually did. Yeah. What did you think of Lindsay Lohan in this movie?
Every actor in this movie pretty much is like has like mild and yet uneven performances. Like it isn't in any way like, oh my god, well, you know, this monologue was so beautifully put, but like all the other dialogue is just dog shit. It was just like either, oh yeah, that was alright, or oh, that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And like, it's kind of a shitty place to be when every one of your performances is basically like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But not a great player maybe, but she can play like the only believable moment is when he like grabs her arm when she's like trying to look for his phone in what was, I admit, a like relatively stressful scene or like, you know, suspenseful.
Yeah.
But
anywho, technical difficulties. But I continue what you're talking about. I don't.
Difficulties. Yeah, she's just not a good actress.
Mm-hmm.
And as time has gone on, and like she has lost her like troubled starlet like fucking persona, now she's just kind of like there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like all I know of her recently was like she was in Interview magazine like a couple months back.
Mm-hmm.
But like yeah, she's just not a persona really anymore.
Yeah.
So the novelty of it is just lost at this point, and it doesn't really work as it might have like in 12, 13.
Yeah. I think that Lindsay Lohan has perfect boobs.
She does have nice boobs. I will give her that. She's got nice boobs.
Yeah. And I'm one of those people that even Lindsay Lohan her lowest points, I've always been attracted to Lindsay Lohan even at her lowest points, even though there's a lot of people that are like, ew, no, I don't think she's attractive anymore.
I've never been. I don't know. She's just never really been my vibe, I guess.
I like
very much.
I like kind of like not skanky, but like kind of like I don't know, I guess I could say girls that look like kind of like drunk, weird,
yeah,
kind of goofy, drunk, kind of dumb, but
bonk on the head is a baby.
Bonk on the head, but hot, like yeah.
Dude, but I don't get that from her. I just get like random girl who's like at the bar and she's just like really annoying, or it's just like a party and like she's had too many and it's sad, and like you couldn't even get hard if you were drunk. Like, never mind the moral business of that. It's just like, oh, you'd never fuck her because she's just like sad. She just make your penis sad.
No, those are the girls I rescue.
She doesn't even seem like rescue material, you know.
Well,
she just,
I'm
like,
not.
Walk away material.
No, I'm the one because everybody's annoyed at her, but I come to the rescue. I fill the void.
Like, I understand you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She doesn't look like, but she kind of has the same vibe of this one girlfriend I had a long time ago. That's what I was describing. Anywho, I think that this movie should have just been a porno.
I was a little like surprised, I guess, at like. I mean, there was a fair amount, but like for Bret Easton Ellis, like I don't know that much about him. I've never read any of his work or whatever. All I know really is like what I've seen in interviews because I find him interesting.
He's a very interesting guy. The strange thing is about millennials is they're snowflakes.
Yeah, no, yeah, obviously, like, that's whatever, but I just find him, like, interesting and amusing.
Yeah.
Like, he seems genuinely, like, removed from it. Like, he's just looking at it from, like, an outsider's perspective.
Yeah.
But,
I have a feeling I'll be on his podcast one day.
Oh, yeah? I hope to be. I mean, he's got a good podcast, too. Like, that's another thing.
You know what's funny is, like, my future predictions, I don't imagine myself... You know what's funny? I actually imagine myself being on his podcast before, like, Red Scare or something like that. In a weird way. And I believe I'll never be on Joe Rogan. But I might be on, like, one of his friends. But not comedian friends, but, like, one of his regular pod, maybe.
I don't know, but I just want to be on Perfume Nationals. Because, like, then I get, like, a free bottle of perfume, I think.
That's really interesting.
You know, you couldn't write Lolita today, you know? He becomes Jordan Peterson in my head.
Who?
Bret Easton Ellis.
Yeah.
Like, he's like a more, like, based Jordan Peterson.
They call me Rabbi, and that's a hell of a thing to hear.
You got a little Irish at the end. That's a hell of a thing to hear.
He does talk Irish.
Oh, you know, these transsexuals. You could never make, I don't know, what's like a movie he would like? I know he likes Crumb, which good on him. But, like, what's like...
It's quite amusing.
You could never make a movie like Shrek today, or something. I imagine he likes Shrek.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, Shrek's a Jungian archetype. The trickster, the donkey is a the trickster, or a jester. And he talked about how Shrek.
Look at me, but Shrek, he's all about pushing away. If you look at college campuses these days, it's all look at me. But the ogres of this world are saying, no, don't look at me, and I won't look at you.
Yeah.
What were you? Oh, yeah.
I was telling you, I think this movie should have been a porn.
Yeah.
With the story.
Yeah. That would have, if they really wanted it trashy, it needed to be, like, more sex. Like, this is like average 90s movie sex.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I figured they'd want to go a little further with it. And like, it isn't even like mostly kinky sex. Like, there's like a foursome scene or whatever where like he gets sucked off by a dude, which, I mean, I guess maybe for the time at least that was risque more. But like,
I don't know.
not even though, right?
And I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm just like trying to think of like.
There was Brokeback Mountain like 8 years before.
Well, yeah, but like Brokeback Mountain didn't have any like. Did Brokeback Mountain have sex scenes?
Yeah.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, them getting fucked in the ass and stuff. Yeah.
Once again, I'm exposed for my ignorance.
We should talk about that one day.
Yeah, I was thinking about that like a week ago or something. Just like, yeah, we should do a Brokeback episode.
And we should film an episode. Okay. We should film an episode like in a tent. I wish I had quit you.
Quit you.
Jack.
Oh, I wish I knew how to.
Jack fucking Twist.
See that cute little mustache Jake has at the end of the movie. Boyfriend dies. After their like first love dies or something, they'll either go blonde or they'll get a mustache.
Yeah. What? Oh yeah, this movie Candy has a lot of gay stuff in it. There's the ex-boyfriend is keep like getting like.
I know Bret Easton Ellis was so fucking hard writing this movie. Yeah. That's what I like about it. I know he was just like that's nice. He's all in one. Like having Lindsay Lohan make him like get head from a guy to like that was Brett's like what's it, internalized homophobia and like urge to like have a female like say like it's okay to be gay because like he's supposed to be having sex with women.
Right. Well, yeah. There's a lot of gay stuff and like this scene where James Dean sucks off the dude and the dude sucks him off, but there's an ex-boyfriend that's like keep getting groomed by all these Hollywood people and there's the guy, it's like Randall, his name, and eventually there's a part where the boyfriend's like, you know, he's like, this is what you want, is this what you want, this is what you want, or whatever. He unzips his pants, that guy, and then it cuts and obviously implies that he sucked his dick.
The guy sucked his dick though, that was like one of the few moments of like interesting like character, like maybe not development, but just characterization of like he immediately like jumps into it like trying to take charge, which like says something about him psychologically. You see, Brett is a good writer sometimes. I think
there was something really goofy. This is something very subtle that I thought was super goofy and weird was because there's a scene because there's a lot of texting in this movie, and there's a part where Lindsay Lohan gets these like text messages and then she displays them on a TV with an app on the TV called Text TV. And it's like dramatic, and it's like I'm thinking like, who the fuck texts on their TV messages?
Yeah, that was that like a thing then? I don't
know. I mean, you could even back then you could still do it, but like, why? Like nobody's ever done that. I don't think.
Yeah, it seems like unnecessary.
Yeah, it was just weird.
Like you can see it right there too. Like you're still just texting them on your phone. You're not like using voice app.
Yeah.
I guess that was like Paul or something trying to make it more like cinematic.
Yeah. Do you think Paul had like a raging boner filming this movie?
Not even like.
Even the James.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure he had one like when he made Cat People or when he made like.
Definitely.
I don't know. Dog Eat Dog or even or something. But like, I it doesn't seem like, from a director's point of view, not from a director's point of view, but like looking at the direction and shit, it all feels like relatively like it's just not terribly libidinal, you could say, I guess. Like there's not a strong erotic element from the actual like cinematography and like camera movement or any of that shit. It feels like stylized and like very sort of, I guess, music video-ish, but it doesn't feel like there's no like real lingering shots, or like maybe it's because of the digital, but like there's no like sensuality to the actual texture, the coloring, nothing, you know. It's all very plastic and like fake, which I guess is what they were probably going for. But
I'm trying to. This might be and could be our shortest review, because I'm trying to even think of anything else to talk about. Any funny moments? Just more like the gay stuff I thought was funny. I thought the James Dean keep calling that guy bro was funny. I thought, the scene, when you think about the ending, when James Dean murders his ex, and then he goes back home, and then Lindsay Lohan, they break up, and he's like, all right, makes sense. And then Lindsay Lohan gets the news that she was murdered. They don't know who did it. Obviously, she thinks he probably did it, but then she goes to dinner like way later, and the one chick at dinner is like, oh yeah, I ran into him recently, and then she also too like that girl like, oh, what happened? I wonder who did it. And then that's how the movie kind of ends. It was kind of like whatever. I mean, whatever.
It was fine enough an ending, I guess. I mean, it had the vibe of like, well, I guess this is an ending for this type of movie that this type of movie would have. It's billed as like an erotic thriller, and it's like not.
It's not even really that like hot or like thrilling. That's funny. I mean, we can end the review here. We have nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, maybe we should have like double packed this one.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like really funny to talk about, because I remember it being really funny watching it. But the second time I watched it, I was just kind of like, not even really underwhelmed, but just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as I remember it being, actually. Funny enough. It was just kind of whatever.
My first watch, so I guess I'm glad I can add another Paul film to my list.
Yes, this will make a fine addition to my collection.
Yeah, I do believe this one will be going to the bottom.
Is this the worst Paul film you've seen?
Mine is better. What?
Is this the worst Paul film you've seen so far?
That I've seen, yeah. Like, even the one that's, like, really sort of forgotten, Forever Mine, with Ray Liotta.
Okay.
I would still say that one was, like, more engaging for me, and that I, like, remember it more fondly.
Right.
Than,
yeah.
I didn't... But I don't need to see it again.
This is probably the worst. Yeah, it's probably the worst Paul film I've seen so far. Yeah. I've never seen the Exorcist 4 yet, though.
I liked that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was like a really like pretty tight and enjoyable supernatural flick.
What about the one I actually want to watch? The Nick Cage, the something of the light. What is it called?
I still haven't seen Dying of the Light.
That one is, if you look up the reviews for that, it's completely split down the middle. Nobody knows, like, it's so polarizing. I've never seen a movie that polarizing before. People say is either amazing or the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be interesting one to talk about. Okay. Well, I guess I'll wrap up this review. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Peace.